Hello everyone, Kerbal Space Program on Modder. Here we go. We are on the pad with the Friendship Jeb in the cockpit. Now, I made one modification. One modification. And you're probably going, what did you do that for? And I can't go up. But the modification is I took one of these science modules off because in a failed attempt to record, I launched this vehicle with two of these, and on a water landing, the first one, the bottom one, still broke off, and that's not cool. We don't want these things breaking off. So what we're going to do is we're just simply going to launch with one, and once we figure out how to get some more science going, and maybe land either with legs or something, we'll get that figured out and going. So until then, we're just going to launch with one for right now. Here we are on the pad. Our throttle is all the way up where it needs to be. And we are going to, set this to stage only, and turn on our stability control. Now, like I said, I've already picked up some science, but we're going to redo this launch anyway, and then we're going to launch the next spacecraft. And we're going to go. And ignition in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And away we go. Now we're at full power here on purpose because we're trying to get up off the pad. If I reduce this power now, we're just going to fall and hit the pad. Now, as you can tell, as we get higher, we're picking up speed here. Part of that's because we're burning at full throttle. Part of it is because as we go higher, the atmosphere gets thinner. And before I start recording the next launch, I'm going to have to turn the volume down on this because this is loud. This is way loud. I mean, it's one thing when I'm playing, but I'm betting you guys are competing to hear me over the rocket here. Now, we're starting to pass through what is called max Q, which is the maximum amount of pressure for being placed on the spacecraft. And what we're going to do is we're going to let up a little bit on the throttle. And at this height, we're also going to tilt the rocket a bit here. You see the rocket vectoring here. Down just a little bit more and ignite stage 2. Now at this point here, we're going to go out to our visual map, and we are going to try to see if we can achieve orbit. And we're going to, first thing we have to do is this apostasis right here. This has to go above 75,000 feet to begin with. Now that's a lot more where I like to see it in terms of height. And now we're going to tilt sideways here. I have no clue. Normal. I have no clue what that means. Anti-radial. I have no clue what that is. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to achieve orbit. So we're not going to get into orbit on this mission, but we've got a nice long flight ahead of us, so we'll just go back to the view here of the rocket. And we can go ahead and detach that portion, turn us around, and rotate. because we are definitely out of the atmosphere here. Let's have a look at the materials bay. 25 science on, because we like science. Science is good. Go ahead and toggle crew report, but it doesn't. That's not going to be worth anything. Actually, after the canister here, that's going to be worth 10 science. Alright, Jeb. And grab back on. There we go. Go ahead and give me an EVA report, Jeb. Okay, get back on board. It's all good in the hood. We're gonna fast forward here. We're still climbing, and then we're gonna start falling here. And we are on track, by the way, for a water landing, which is something we want. We have passed through entry interface. And this is going to be the fastest re-entry I've had in a while. If you take a look at my speed here, we're hitting the atmosphere. This is why we have a heat shield. Alright, looks like my heat shield held, which is what we want. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. Looks like everything is held on. We're going to deploy the drone. We're going to deploy the chute now. I just heard it deploy, which means we're going to have a successful landing, which we like. Mystery Goo, Mystery Goo says, blah. Alright, we'll wait till we splash down. This is a very successful flight. We're going to get some more science, and hopefully unlock something new. And I did unlock something new last time, but hopefully we get something else new now. I mean, I could unlock batteries and put batteries on here and just transmit the data back, but the problem with transmitting the data back is you don't get near as much. And splashdown. Okay, Mr. Goo, what do you say? The goo escapes into the water. Alright, here we go. Let's go pick it up. And it looks like we have a pretty successful launch after this. As we wait on the game to decide what to award us with. Alright. 8 science, 25 science, 10 science, 0.9 and 0.2. We gain 44.1. We have a science of 86. Jeb, of course, is ready for the next flight. But we're going to go to the Science Center first. Now, it's not enough, I think, to unlock any of this. Yeah, landing, advanced flight control, which includes RCS thrusters. RCS thrusters are huge. A lander can, if I want to do a landing on the Mun. Advanced inline stabilizer. That's pretty big. And the reason I like that is because it allows me to use other than just regular pilots. As long as I turn it on before we go, I can fly with anybody. Let's see here, general construction. This is worthwhile. The strut constructor is worthwhile. This is a decoupler for a larger. This allows me to adapt bigger parts. Tower. The real good stuff doesn't come until you hit heavy rocketry. So where you get the kickback, the huge kickback on the heavier rocket, then you start getting into the big huge things. And if you get all the way to this point, this is the Rhino, the Mammoth. This part right here is part of the SLS rocket. Thank you, NASA. But there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to research. Specialized actuators, propulsion, construction, suppose area, big rockets, hydraulic manifold. Yep, radial decouplers. Attach larger thing to smaller. Attach 3 things to 1. Something I would like to try to find, though, is where is the 3-man flight unit? Somewhere in these trees is a 3-man capsule. And I don't know where it's disappeared to. That's just a lot of extra parts. Space exploration. Yeah, the hitchhiker, storage container, barometer. I mean, there's some more science stuff. Advanced exploration, which includes ladders. Oh, there it is. Command modules. This is space station. This is the 3-man command module. It's like a Apollo. It's like an Apollo command module. Mark II lander can, which is of course useful, and a service bay. Okay. 86.5. I think we're probably going to do I guess this gives us the thermometer and the bigger comm. I think what we're going to do for right now is we're going to get the bigger rocket parts. There we go. Back to the VAB. Vertical assembly building. And what we're going to do here is I've got the next rocket built. And we're going to give that a shot. And I'm going to load this one up. Load. Like I said, I've got more parts on it. Unused monopropellant source. You know, that's like the only thing. So let's take this on out to the pad. And we're going to attempt to launch this here as soon as it comes up. But you know what? We're running kind of long here, so in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and we're going to launch this bad boy, and we're going to see what happens. Until then, I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye.